Future trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. For reference, it is April 13th. What time is it?
2:39 Central.
Start over.
Why do we need to start over?
Because I sound like an idiot. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. For reference, it is April 13th, 2:39 Central Time. Andy, how you doing?
In the PM, right?
In the PM.
In the
not
PM.
the AM.
This isn't early in the morning here.
That's right.
Okay.
We're not getting up that early. It's another beautiful day in the markets, my friend.
Another beautiful day. It is a nice day. It's like 80 degrees here.
I know.
A little bit of wind.
A little sunshine.
A little sunshine. Are you going to get some... Are you going to go outside? You put a little sunscreen on the old dome there? Or?
100%. Because we're supposed to have snow by Sunday. So
Snow by Sunday?
Snow by Sunday.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. Well, it's beautiful outside. The markets thus far,
Spring,
maybe not so
Midwest.
much.
All right. Well, I got the bazooka out. Which one do you want to look at first? Cheese, I think?
We better start with CME Cheese.
CME Cheese. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. This is the black barrel on a weekly average. And
Did we go through this one last week or 2 weeks ago?
I don't recall, but I think we did go through it 2 weeks ago. I don't know. That said, I drew this line right here. What is this one? About 168 and some change. Just call it 168. So this is the last time we closed at this price or lower was week ending November 24th, 2021.
Yep.
Yikes. So yeah, around this time, and then it, obviously, took off, blah, blah, blah. But assuming we get it close here, so today's Thursday, we need to close at, we need to be unchanged or lower tomorrow. Right. If we don't, then this holds, right? But first time and since November 2021 that we close the cheese average at this price, assuming we can close here. Right. So I think the question is, do we close here and then open lower next week? If we do, I think that gets a little dicey.
If we do just that, close here, open lower.
Correct.
Do you think, because I have it drawn on mine from last time we had talked about $1.50 cheese is kind of in our near warehouse here.
Okay. That's right there.
And that's a big if. Right, we still have tomorrow and the Monday open, but it's not too far away.
Shoot, why not? No, like I said, this is why we wanted to point it out. This is going to be one of the lowest. We have the potential to have one of the lowest closes we've had since November 2021. Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So futures maintaining a pretty healthy premium, right? I've got current cash at 16.5 with no premiums. That's using May way, and May futures are at about $18, right? So you've got a pretty healthy premium baked into this already. So I think in order to get that next leg down, I think you do need to see some confirmation here in terms of getting that closed tomorrow and then opening lower on Monday. Yeah. We'll see. They're buying a lot of barrels.
Yeah.
Right? You go and look at a barrel chart. Let's just take a quick peek at that on a weekly RBY. Barrels are approaching their, basically lows that we've seen here where we saw a lot of accumulation before taking off again. So this is a pretty key area for the barrel, right? Let's say they keep chipping away at it. We will have seen a lot of volume trade, right? And so you'll see volume confirm the price. But yeah, no, like I said, haven't seen this in a long time. So just because the futures have a big premium baked into it doesn't mean we need to just rip higher, right? Futures can come down.
True.
So
big do or die.
Yeah, big do or die. There you go. You should get a shirt that says that.
We're going to need one if this thing goes lower.
And if that shirt doesn't exist, I think you should make it.
I like it.
Either way, you should be wearing a do or die shirt. Maybe a do or die bandana. I think a bandana would be better. A do or die bandana. What do you think?
I'd like it. Put Ever.Ag on the side. Do or die. Ever.Ag.
I noticed you're not wearing your Kansas State shirt or whatever it was.
I'm not. I got rid of that shirt. I had to wear it one time and I pitched it.
All right. I won't ask any more questions about that. So anyways, spot cheese. Like I said, let's keep an eye on for the close tomorrow and then the open on Monday. And also too, a lot of accumulation in the barrel. So next one though, another spot market. This one's a lot more interesting. I shouldn't say a lot more interesting. They're both interesting, but this one's getting interesting here from the opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of this bad boy real fast and let's just talk through some of these indicators. So this is spot Nonfat on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is that some of these momentum type indicators, right? So the actual momentum, this top one right here, measures against the last 12 periods. So what this is saying is that it's been the last since basically, June of 2022. since we crossed over into zero, well, not once but twice, but basically since this time frame here, we've been lower against the previous 12 periods. So as this number remains negative, that means, again, you take today's price, look at the last 12, and it's been that's lower, right? So now that we're approaching this zero number here, what this is saying is that we're starting to get to a point where today's price may start to get higher than, call it, like the last 12 periods. Yeah. Periods being, in this case, weeks, right? The last 12 candles. So again, on this, I put this out because this is the first time we've seen any, like, you got close here, right? But if we cross zero into positive territory, that means you're starting to see more inclination out of the buyers to take prices higher relative to what we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
So you've had a pretty large downtrend that has held for the most part up until about here, and it broke out, is kind of holding outside of it. And if we start to see somewhat of a rounding, I just think technically it's starting to look like it could try to carve out a bottom here. And then we had that NDPSR volume last week, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, where it was, I believe, a record amount of volume.
I think that's what Joe said.
Yeah. Check it out. Bases Loaded, by the way. You can go back and look at that episode and this week's episode too. So if you want to get your fill of bald guys, you can watch Tech Talk and then Bases Loaded.
Best kind of people.
There you go. But yeah, no, like I said, so the momentum is starting to get close to crossing zero. Plus you have this RSI down here, relative strength, that's getting down into this blue line where it's, considered, quote, oversold. And so you cross into that area, and then crossing back out of it is also an indicator that the market is, pulling itself out of an oversold territory and potentially moving higher.
I know we have one more day. Obviously, tomorrow's Friday, but last week's the 6th compared to this week's. You've engulfed it.
Yeah.
Right now, right? I mean, tomorrow's going to be a pretty big day for this chart.
Let's zoom in on that bad boy.
I mean, you got the low of last week. What do we have? 112.5. Low this week, 112.5. High 116 this week, 116. So
yeah,
complete engulfment. You just need to figure out what tomorrow's going to bring.
Yeah, to your point, that's a sign of strength. Yeah, I mean, you've got, like I said, we've got some things that are starting to play out, both technically, but also too, like what we talked about with, the increased volume in the NAS or NDPSR. I just think these are things to be really mindful. Haven't crossed zero here yet, but if we do, what I'm looking for really is just I think you could see a nice retracement, right? And to retrace 30% or a third of this, from one up to 140. I think at the very least we go and go get back into this noise over here. So, which again, that's not that far away. You're talking about like 125 to 128.
Right. This
kind of like consolidation period. I think that's entirely possible. So, something to be mindful of. Seen some stuff that could point to potential bottom here in Nonfat.
All right.
I don't know. What do you think? You can get some tote bags. Start piling in the old garage. You got some room in the garage for some tote bags?
I think we're going to have to make some room here.
All right.
That's what the chart's saying.
All right. Go get some totes. So we've looked at, I believe Feeders was one that we had looked at on request a while ago. And we said Correct. This was one we wanted to be keeping an eye on, right? Just kind of revisiting.
Right.
I didn't touch any of those lines, by the way. So I believe last when we looked at this, we talked about we were entering wave 3. Right. And so we had the first, we had a retracement, so now, like I said, I didn't touch this line. I think what's interesting is, you're starting to see like this candle right here is kind of like a prelude to weakness, because what it shows, if I can just blow this up for a second, what it shows is that you had a nice bull run and then the market tried to move higher and it basically stabbed itself back into the previous day's range. Right. So like each one of these other preceding candles, it opened and then it closed higher from the previous, each attempt to move higher succeeded up until this point. Right. So to open higher and then close back inside the previous day's range is a sign of, slowing down potential weakness. What I think ends up happening is we get another one of these types of moves right here. So if I just kind of draw a similar length.
So you think we're going into wave 4 here?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Right. So then take us back down to like 230-ish.
Okay.
I think that's the next thing that we see here. I think this candle right here, we had a nice move into wave 3 here. This is a clear, this is a sign of slowing down, right? Let's say we open lower tomorrow. I think we retrace a good chunk of this move right here into wave 4, which would then lead us into wave 5, which let's say we retrace down to 230. What you would really look for is taking the first one and just basically laying it on top.
So about 240-ish.
Yeah, and that, let's say that plays out, that is essentially like kind of the end of the move, right? It's like the exhaustion period. A lot of times those are characterized by, big like candles like this, right? Where you get big price action, maybe you get some short covering, you get some aggressive trade, and then there's no new buying up at at the exhaustion point.
If there were, you would need new news into that market to propel us higher, essentially.
Right. Right. You got to feed the bull.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think, like I said, didn't touch this line. I think we've completed wave 3. I think you've got this right here is a really good indicator that we took a shot today and couldn't do it. And the fact that we closed back into yesterday's range is a sign of weakness. So I think we got to retrace some of this and then come back up for wave 5, and then we truncated into the next series of waves, which would be lower. Something else to note too. We just looked at the momentum piece for some of these other charts. This is starting to get a little bit accelerated.
Just like, yeah.
When we got up to this level before, it slowed.
Right.
Right. And so can it maintain this level of momentum? I think seems tough, given the way it acted last time we got up here. So that's another thing to be mindful of. And also too, the RSI is telling you the same type of thing, right? We just looked at it for Nonfat where it crossed below the blue and then came back up. That's an indication of an oversold market. This is an indication of overbought.
Okay.
So if it crosses back below this RSI, then that's an indication of potential weakness coming.
Which it does kind of look like it's rounding out at the top there, right? The RSI.
Yeah, I think there's cause for a little bit of setback here for feeders. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I think you requested this one.
Definitely.
Is Cody going to be able to retire? Yes or no?
That's pretty much the question that we were looking at today.
S&P, SPOO for short, however you want to put it.
Today it looks like we are.
Are you? Do you think so? What are we doing?
I don't know. It's looking pretty good.
Are you going to retire? I feel like you're going to fall over dead and call that one retirement. But you're still going to be working, right? You can be shoeing cows or doing something.
I just want to be able to. I just want the chart to tell me that I'm going to be able to, unlike it did back in October where it was I'll probably be working until I'm 95.
95?
This one, maybe 92. We're looking pretty good here.
Maybe 92. What are you going to do for those other 3 years between 95 and 92? Sit on your porch, yell at people?
Yes.
That was just a shot in the dark, but it seems like something you would do.
Got to find something to do. But hey, at least it's doing well today, right?
That's all we can ask. Find something to do. You're not wrong. Yeah, no, I think we were looking at this. This is a daily. If I can figure out how to work the computer, I can look at a weekly. There we go. The weekly looks good, right? So you have the W. You have an attempt at a higher low here that seems to be succeeding, right? This looks like you keep bumping it up against 4,200 and assuming you can get through that price. Let's say you close higher, kind of like what we were just looking at for cheese, right? We keep bumping up against some of those lower levels. So you get a close above 4,200 and then open higher the next week. This could take over technically.
Yeah.
And then you got to start thinking about this being a target right here where it touched this downward trend, this being a target kind of thing. So, but we seem to be bumping up against this really critical area, but you're also doing it in a way where you broke out of this downward trend, are holding it. There's a lot of lines here all of a sudden. Let's get rid of this one so we can see it a little easier.
Well, it also looks like at 3,600 down around there, where are we at? Middle of September, October type time frame when we were creating those lows.
Yeah.
The lower lows. Now it seems like we're on our way to some of these higher lows like you had mentioned. Not quite out of the woods just yet, but the chart looks like it's trying to flip that.
Yeah. I think you got it. Like I said, 4,200. You had 1, 2, 3 attempts at it before. It was a price too. You go back and look here. You tried to get over the market just doesn't like that price. It doesn't like to sit still around there. Look at what happened here. And it looks like it almost tried to get, what's this high right here? Hang on. What's going on here? Bam. 41.58. Okay. I don't know if you can say that was an attempt there. Either way, it's failed once there before, and then twice, 3, 4 times. It's not a price the market seems to like. Right. But it's also, like I said, it's similar to what we looked at in cheese, where we hadn't settled the cash average at today's price since Nov 21.
Correct.
This is a price that we haven't seen a settlement at since, August of last year.
Yeah.
And we're doing it in a way where you've, again, broken out of the long-term downward trend, have a nice, W type, formation taking shape. So you've got some things that are shaping up that could be bullish here.
And I'm just looking, I don't think you have the 100-day simple moving average on yours. I do on mine, and it is dead on at 42.
Dead on. Hang on. Let me change. Let's change this green guy. 100. Bam.
Right there.
Look at that, Richard.
Right
Hang on.
across.
Okay, so the green line is, I switched it from 200 day to 100 day. Right there.
Right there.
Man.
And it's been right there going back into December of 2022.
Whew.
Yeah, wow. Look at the last couple times we tried to test up against there. We've fallen completely apart.
Is it hammer worthy? What do you think?
You know what? I think it is.
You know what?
S&P's buy.
Oh, that's it. Throw the bazooka out the way. Barrett, I've been holding this whole thing. See ya.
Put more money into your retirement account, everybody. It's looking good. Andy says so. It's a buy.
Cody's retiring at 92, not 95.
That's
so
right.
Look out at any people that are going to walk across his lawn in those 3-year period. You're going to get yelled at because the spoo is going up.
Time to celebrate, folks.
It's time to celebrate. It's nice outside. You know, like I said, make sure you get some sunscreen on your face or, dome or whatever you want to call it.
Don't want to burn. I don't want to be burnt for Tech Talk.
No, you don't.
No.
And you're going to get a bandana that says do or die, I think.
We're going to have to. We'll sell them on the Ever.Ag merch website.
You know what you could do is make it is cut it out of that Kansas whatever shirt that you had to wear.
Oh, that's gone.
And
that's long gone.
No, okay.
Long gone. Yep.
Fair enough.
Long gone. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for another episode of Tech Talk with myself and Mr. Andy Fallman. We appreciate you being here. We are actually going to be off next week, so we're going to take a 1-week hiatus. We'll be back following, and we will have some more charts. We'll see where the S&P is. We'll see where those feeder cattle have ended up, and we'll kind of go from there. If anybody, we haven't actually had anybody email in quite a while, I don't think, at least 2 episodes. So if anybody has any charts they want to see, feel free to call us, email us, text us, get a hold of us. We would love to look at different charts. But until next time.
What's the new hashtag for you, by the way? It's like DF Hot. I think it's what we decided on. Don't fade the hammer of truth. Is that right?
Don't fade the hammer of truth. It's been
Maybe
right so
what
far.
you should do is go into the sun and just like get sunscreen that just says DF like hot
Right
on your forehead, like your whole head right here. So it's just like DF Hot.
Fantastic. I don't think I'll be doing that, but it was a great suggestion.
It was a great suggestion. We'll put that one in the suggestion box.
Put it in the suggestion box. Lock it up.
Put it in the cylindrical file for later. All right.
All right. I'm done. Everybody have a great week.
See ya.
See you next time.